Hello, everybody. It's Josh. I was going to do a regular video today, go record one, but I've gotten so many comments, so many questions, people struggling in life, people just at odds with things in life. So I wanted to do a live stream and see, hear directly from you. I know that it's a busy time for everybody. They're getting off of work, driving home from work, whatever, but I figured, just a little talk today. See how everybody's doing. So I wanted to talk today about how we should not trust in man. And that comes with a stipulation for sure. But when we put our trust in people, anybody, even the ones we love the most, we are putting our expectations on them. Unless it is a genuine trust that is rooted in faith in God. It is just, basically we are basically, sorry here, I'm trying to get through this. So when we put our trust in people, we put those expectations on them, and if they don't fulfill those expectations, then we lose that trust. That's not how we should look at life. We should always look at life by walking in faith, by saying, okay, this is where God put me. This is the situation God put me in. And so we take that situation and we say, whatever the outcome, I know it is for a reason. So if God wants us to go and break down on the side of the road, if God has us, in the fires of hell, not literally, but just having a lot of spiritual attacks in life. That is what God wants for us. I don't know why I can't say proverbially. I don't know why. I've never had trouble saying that word. Oh, hello, people are already here. Peace from NYC. Great to see you, 8. How's it going in NYC? Oh, Teshuva. Good to see you. Zealous Blake is your new name on here. Good to see you, brother. Let's see here. Hello. Nanology, RJ, Nicking. From India again. Okay, I'm going to try to say that name. Jyoti? Is that right? I'm sure it's probably not right. I'm sorry if I messed it up. People mess up my last name all the time. So it's, especially in the South, I guess it's like a more northern name. I love to Teshuva. It's great to see you on here. I got on early because my family, my wife and daughters, are out seeing Moana 2. So I got some peace. I usually do live streams during the day because, I'm spending time with family and enjoying it. And just running errands or filming my regular videos. But as I was saying before probably anybody showed up, I've had so many questions and so many people who are stuck in just dark situations. And I want to be here to help you as much as I can, if I can help you, or help you figure out who can help you. So if anybody is struggling with something in life, if you're willing to talk about it, please let me know. I will absolutely discuss it and walk through how you might get through these hard times. Because those of you who watch my channel know I've been through pretty much all the levels of hell in the past 15 years. I have been forged in the fires of hell for sure. And it has been At first, I thought I was cursed. I thought, this is too much for me. I wanted my life to end. And then when God saved me, everything changed. Everything changed. And I know so many people have this biased view of what Christianity is, because you look at Christians and you look at what is portrayed as Christians portrayed in the media or on TV or entertainment. It is absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong. Christ expanded my mind. Christ absolutely showed me things that I never would have known. I was transformed every fiber of my being. And I went from someone who wanted my life to end to someone who feels like the wealthiest man alive, joyful, peaceful, and loving all the time. And of course, that peace gets shaken at times. That love is hard to come by when you're trying to love your enemies, but we're all a work in progress. We all are. And we all strive to be, as Christians, the best servant of Christ we can be. Okay, let's see here. Oh, Nikki. I am from not too far from Raleigh, North Carolina. Where are you? Were you from? Oh yeah, you were from India. So Nikki from India. I get a lot of listeners in India. I'm so blessed to have people all over the world listening, and technology is amazing in this way. Obviously, it has its downsides, and there's a lot of problems, how darkness spreads so fastly with technology, but so can the light. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm Nicking. I'm from Raleigh, North Carolina. You're from Germany. It's deep night there. Well, I'm glad that hopefully I can lull you to sleep, maybe. In a good way, not in a bad way. Now, I usually do my live streams at midnight in my time zone, which a lot of my regular listeners can't make it to that because it's so late. But that's because I'm up until sometimes 4:30, 5 a.m. My pain keeps me up, but it's nice. How you doing, man?
Good, how are you?
Good. All right, let's see here. Floppy Fish 87. I've been sober for 8 months, went from hell and back to the Lord. It's possible for anyone to trust in God. Absolutely. Absolutely. And the thing is, we trust in God and God alone. Because when we trust in man, they will always let us down. I gave an example. I think it was the second to last video I posted. And let's say you trust in your children and you love your children so much, and you just put these expectations on them. And maybe your daughter is studying to be an architect or something, a lawyer. And then she shows up one night, finds out she's pregnant. She's been sleeping with the guy. Maybe she doesn't even know who the father is. It could get worse. It could get just progressively worse. And you, with those expectations, you with that trust that you had in her is shattered. And you no longer trust her, and you're mad at her and yourself for putting that trust in her. That is absolutely not the way to do it. And I see that situation actually quite a bit, to where people who want to delete their babies, I can't say the word on YouTube, the A word, they say, my life would have been over because I was studying to be a doctor, a lawyer, architect, whatever. And when I got pregnant, if I would have kept the baby, then my life just would have ended. I would have not been able to do any of that. It would have been complete hell for me. Would have been living in poverty, would have just been, miserable all the time. Again, those are your dreams and your expectations. And we're told in this world, follow your dreams, follow them, follow your passions. It's absolutely a lie. We follow Christ, we follow God where he takes us, anywhere he takes us. And it'll be some scary places, it always will be. But if we follow him to these places, I promise you, if you genuinely seek him in all scenarios. So again, you're in the line at a grocery store. Maybe I was just in the line of the grocery store in the Walmart, and all the Thanksgiving shopping, it was around the corner. It was kind of miserable, and the old me would have been horribly just mad, anxious. I had social anxiety really bad. Being like, what the hell is going on here? Why do we have to deal with this? And I'm telling you, you say, okay, God, why did you bring me here? Maybe it's not something profound. Maybe you're going to meet your soulmate, you're the love of your life. Maybe you're going to meet a friend who gets you through the darkest time in your life. Maybe you're there to learn about patience. Anything is possible, and God only knows, and sometimes he lets you know, sometimes he doesn't, why he has you in these scenarios. So that's what I'm talking about when, like I said, when your daughter shows up pregnant and you think life is over, we might as well go and kill the unborn baby, because if not, it's going to be miserable for all of us. That is a lie. That happened for a reason. I'm not saying it's a good thing that she was out sleeping around before she was married. You know, most people do. I know I did. But it is what God wants. And it is for a reason. Maybe the baby won't make it. Maybe they will. It doesn't matter. You follow God's plan, and you will feel the weight of the world lift off of you if you live like this. I promise you this. You will start to hear and sense God's messages to you. It is transformational. Okay, let's see here. Teshuvah. There's Christians, then there are true believers. The Lord blessed you with discerning judgment. Shalom. Oh, God bless you. Yeah, I am still a flawed man, and do not trust in me either. Do not trust in anyone until you have trust and faith in God. And then it doesn't matter. Because then you can love everyone unconditionally like he loves us unconditionally. He loves us no matter how broken we are, no matter how bad we think we are. He loves us, and he's waiting for us to finally turn to him. But sometimes we feel like we're such bad people that we just cannot turn to him, because there's no way that God would take someone as worthless as me. And that kind of mindset is what kept me for 13 years from turning to God. I hated myself, I hated my life, and I just thought it was all worthless. But you see, you get guidance from man, you get wisdom from man. Hopefully it's from someone who has a relationship with God, but sometimes it's from a non-believer, sometimes it's from an atheist. You learn lessons, and God works through every single thing and person all the time. And so you must trust in him explicitly. And I'm telling you, how much do you all sit up worrying? How much do you sit up? It could be anything. It could be money. It could be love. It could be anything you can think of that you're sitting up worrying about. Social anxiety, like I said. All of that disappears when you start walking in faith and you start trusting in God. But again, our secular society, our secular world really, it no longer values these things. It no longer teaches us these things. And really, even when it is a more religious society, a lot of times they do not teach you these things either, because they use religion as sort of a bludgeon to beat you with. But I'm telling you, it's all about the personal relationship. Don't follow Christianity, follow Christ. Okay, the man of three voices. I wish it were easier to turn the other cheek with some people. Yes, it's a problem that I have too, brother. I absolutely, it's a process of me learning how to deal with the people that are just blatantly against me, blatantly against everything I believe in, and trying to harm me. Now, don't get me wrong. A lot of Christians say that Christ was the ultimate pacifist and the ultimate, violence is never the answer. Absolutely not true. Jesus Christ went to the temples where the merchants were and chased them out with a whip, with the livestock. That is one of the most violent things. Think about how many assault charges you would have if you chased a whole temple full of merchants out with a whip. So he says, sell your cloak and buy a sword at one point. He is absolutely for defending yourself and innocence. What we have to remember is never retaliate in vengeance or never retaliate in retribution. And that is the main key to remember. The anger, it overcomes us. It overcomes it. If you're overcome with anger and you are thinking of doing violence, even if you think it's justified, you need to calm yourself down, and it is hard to do. It is absolutely hard to do. RJ, sir, please be my good friend. I will absolutely be your friend. Sir, my daughter is 12 years old. I want to work, but my mother-in-law lives with me. I'm a single mother. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. It is a difficult scenario, isn't it? Sir, my life is very, very funny, but sometimes it becomes very difficult. I know. And right now, my family has been just in chaos from we've all just been kind of above the poverty line because I was disabled, 15 years ago now almost. And my parents, who were my pillar in life, my rock. My dad had a heart attack, and as he was recovering, my mother had a stroke and it paralyzed half of her body. And so my sister had to uproot her life and move in with them and try to take care of them. And, she suffers from bipolar, and she was doing great, but being in that situation where, I don't know if you've ever been around a stroke victim, but they have the mind of a child in some ways and the mind of an adult in other ways. So it's you never know what you're going to get, really. It all depends on what the stroke did to their brain. But in your situation with your mother-in-law, you are in that for a reason, and I understand it explicitly. I don't. So you're single mother, but your mother-in-law lives with you. Did something happen to the baby's father, or did it just end up like that where she lives with you now? But either way, seek God in every scenario, and He will show you why you have to live like this, why you're in that scenario. And it's not like you have to live like that forever. It's not. Your living situation right now could be completely different tomorrow. In fact, if Putin presses a button, we could be all gone tomorrow. And we can't be worried about things like this. We can't be worried about anything. We can't sit and sulk into depression. We can't sit and think of the worst case scenarios, because it will devour you. And that is That brokenness is when you turn to God. That is when, if you read any of the Bible, everyone except for Jesus Christ was almost completely broken. Just flawed men, flawed women, and they all suffered. Even Jesus Christ suffered. And even Jesus Christ was so overcome with worry that he prayed so hard his skin bled the night before he had to be taken and crucified. So he teaches us that sometimes it's going to be so overwhelming, we can't help but worry, but that's why we pray harder. We just throw ourselves at God's feet and we beg for his mercy. And that's the reason why Christ came. Christ is God himself. He came as a suffering servant God, not a conquering king. So we could know. The reason he came to the poor and the weak and the oppressed is because we are the ones, the persecuted. We are the ones who understand life better because we don't worship our money. We don't worship our power. We sit there and we are just stepped on by life and everyone in it. And we're thought of as peasants and slaves. That is freedom. When you have nothing to lose, so you can easily surrender to God. And that means giving your life to him completely. Switzerland, hey, how you doing, brother Ronnie? Beautiful area. I've never been there. I know they're beautiful because I research all these places and I love the outdoors, and I would be in a nicer place now. I'm right behind my house. We have a bike trail. It's not even open yet, but you know, it's not the most beautiful place, but let's see if a beautiful sunset back there, but the power lines and everything, I'd be in one of my peaceful spots, but you take what you can get all the time. If you're in the city, like the person from NYC, you go out, you find a little place in Central Park or a little patch of woods somewhere, and you just try to soak up the peace in there as much as you can. I know it's harder in places like NYC though. Nathaniel, hey brother, so happy seeing you on the live stream, and I get so happy when you're here, brother. I love hearing from you. I love that you stopped by, you know, because there was a while when you were really busy and I wasn't hearing from you for a while, and I was praying for you and hoping everything was okay. When I don't hear from somebody for a while, well, after the election, of course, I lost a lot of my regular viewers, but that was because I you know why. I had to speak what God was telling me was the truth, and they didn't want to hear it, and I understand that. I understand. You know, hopefully they found someone who was able to help them on their spiritual journey. But when you kind of make your own rules about life and the way God should be, create God in your image and not have, you know, what is true and be created in God's image, then things start getting dicey for sure. I'm so sorry, RJ. I know, you know, your husband died, and listen, both of you and your child, it's going to take so long to heal from that. In fact, those scars will be there forever. But when we have scars like this, when we go through trauma and tragedy like this, that makes us fertile ground for Jesus Christ to come in and just take all the grief, take all of the pain from us. And it is absolutely miraculous when he does. You know, I told the story last night of one woman that I met over the summer, and she was like a lukewarm Christian. She didn't really believe, you know, she went to church just because it's what women do in the South here in the United States especially. But she went to church, and then her 5-year-old son died in a tragic accident. He was playing at the playground in the sandbox, and he fell and hit his head on the wooden part of the sandbox on the side, and face down suffocated. And so she got mad at herself, mad at God, mad at life, didn't want to live anymore. And one night, she finally decided to start talking to God, asking him why he would do this to him. And she said she was physically, spiritually taken by the Holy Spirit up to heaven to see her son, and got to talk to her son. And she said, she went from that basically agnostic, atheist type person who just went to church because it was the thing to do, to the most devout servant of Christ. And that is what happens. That pain, that suffering, addicts get it a lot. Addicts, you go to AA or whatever rehab program, most of them tell you, especially AA, that you need to seek a higher power. If you don't have that higher power, then it is going to not work, because you're going to trust in yourself. And that is what got you in that mess in the first place. And so when they find that higher power, and they don't push Christianity, I guess, because I guess they can't really much anymore because so many people have so many different views. But I'm telling you, of all the faiths, of all the religions, of all the philosophies and spiritualities, Christ is the way, the truth, and the life. There is evidence, historical evidence, that points to him, everything that happened being 100% true. There is obviously the personal testimonies of people who were broken, who were just out of their minds, and God saved them from everything. And so I'm telling you, if you're going on that journey, let God guide you. Don't be biased against any kind of religion, any kind of idea. Let him guide you through the most important things. You're not going to be able to go through every faith and religion because that would take the rest of your life for sure. But the main ones, and whatever catches your eye maybe of the minor ones, go through them all if you have to. Or just go straight to Christ. If you're the type of person who doubts too much and just can't bring yourself to believe, then go and look at the historical evidence. Go and look at how there are 6,700 plus original Greek manuscripts, and all the writings of the early church fathers that record the Gospels exactly like we're learning them today. And so you will know that there is truth there. And go find a figure in literature or in real history that is more reliable than Jesus Christ. Go find a figure that has changed the world more than Jesus Christ. In fact, every religion, for the most part, especially the major ones except for Judaism, they hold Christ in either a high regard or they even worship him sometimes. The Hindus, some of them worship Jesus Christ as one of their gods, because you cannot deny the moral teachings that he gave us. You cannot deny the miracle of God, the unknown, unseen God, coming down and showing us who he is. You have that in no other religion, none of them. The unknown, unseen God in I guess in mythology, they might have something close to that, I guess, but not really, because they don't even really worship the unknown, unseen God, the creator of everything. They just kind of say, oh yeah, he existed, he created everything, and then there were Zeus and Hercules and all these, Athena. And I'm telling you, you look at every single bit of context. And I didn't want to be a Christian at first. I didn't, because I didn't like the way Christians acted. I didn't like the way that I thought it was anti-intellectual, and I heard all the lies that they had changed the Bible, and that it was like the telephone game, and they kept on translating it, and it was changed in the process. All lies. We have not only those 6,700 plus original Greek documents, we have translations of those documents. And they are exactly the same. You know, some things change, just phrasings and stuff like that, but not the wisdom, not the main point of the stories and the parables and the teachings and the miracles that Christ had. Okay. Brad Fidel, this guy again, don't listen to him. No idea what he's talking about. Okay. Well, thanks, Brad. That's a good argument there. No idea what I'm talking about. Alex, praise Jesus. Amen. Amen. So I know that there is suffering and struggling in life. I know it is overwhelming. And I'm telling you, what I did, as I said, I did not go looking for the Christian God. I did not think God would even truly answer me. I went out, and for the first time in over 20 years, I genuinely prayed to God. And I said, I don't know why you would even consider answering me. I'm worthless. I hate my own life. Why would you love me when I don't love myself? And within 10 minutes, not even 10 minutes. It wasn't even 10 minutes. I was walking in the woods when I prayed, and then I went down on this lake shore because there was a drought in my area at the time in 2022. And I looked over, and a deer, a white-tailed doe, comes running out of the woods. And she let me pet her, and then she walked alongside of me for over an hour, almost an hour and a half. And it was, I mean, when I thought, okay, there's no way God's answering me, but I am desperate. I am desperate. And when that deer came out of that woods, first of all, I didn't even think of anything else because it was such an amazing experience. And then when I was walking back to my car after I left that day, it all hit me. I had just been the lowest point of my life, and now I am at the highest point I have ever even imagined. And it's incredible. All the tragedies that have happened to me, even since I've been saved. If I hadn't have been saved when I was, I don't know if my marriage would have lasted, because my wife and I were miserable. We didn't know what to do. We were just scared and hanging on, and we didn't even know why we were hanging on anymore, because we both just wanted it to end. And that, you know, I was living for my children and my two daughters. And when you live for your children, when that is your sole purpose in life, that is not fair to them. That is not fair to anyone, because you are putting, again, your expectations on them. You are telling them that basically you're my God now. You're what I worship. And if your life doesn't turn out good or the way that I want it to, then you're going to be ruining not only your own life, but my life too. And think about how awful that is to do that to a child, to give the child a job like that before they're before they were born. So, Timothy's back. Hey, how you doing, brother? My Blue Wrench of Power. Nathaniel, Brad, you got to be under 18. Can't be a grown man like this on the internet. Well, like I always say, Nathaniel, I enjoy when people come trolling me, as long as they're funny, or as long as if they have good points and they want to argue, for sure. I mean, I know all the atheist arguments. I've spent hundreds of hours watching atheist videos and debates between atheists and Christians and atheists and other types of religions. And there's nothing new under the sun for them. And yet for Christianity, and for the actual theism, for the idea of God being true, because it is a different argument. It is. You have to make two separate arguments. First, you have to figure out, is God real? Do I believe that an intelligent designer created everything? And if you look at the evidence of the beginning of the universe, I mean, Albert Einstein didn't believe in God, and he tried to fudge the numbers of the expansion of the universe. And the other scientists came to him and said, "Come on, Albert, you know this isn't right. Come on, it's glaringly obvious you're trying to fudge the numbers here." And he admitted it, he changed it, and he started to believe in God. He said, there has to be an intelligent creator to all this. So if it's good enough for Albert Einstein, it's good enough for, unless you think you're smarter than Albert Einstein, I guess. But every single branch of science, every single branch of mathematics, almost all of them, the fathers of all of them were Christians. You got to dig deep into how there has never been an evolutionary process or a genetic mutation that has increased information in a genome, which means DNA, which means creating life. There has never been that. So how much faith do you have to say that just there was this primordial soup and it was just a bunch of non-intelligent, non-life matter, and then maybe a lightning bolt struck it, and all of a sudden it's like Frankenstein's monster, and you've got life all of a sudden from nothing. And not only that, but you have life that evolves into things like humans who can contemplate even the existence of God. Why have there been always religions all throughout history? Why do we have this drive to seek God if there is no reason for that in the evolutionary process? Survival of the fittest. In fact, the only thing that would do is make it harder for us to survive. It's absolutely wild. All the evidence piled up points to there being a God. Oh, sounds like the raccoons are coming out for... Oh no, that's a hawk. Oh, my hawk, it just flew out. Nope, I take it back. It was an owl. It was an owl. I thought it was a hawk, just the wingspan, but it's an owl. I have a lot of owls around my house. Barred owls, great northern owls. They're really cool. They come and talk to me at night a lot of times. We'll see how long the light lets me stay out here with you all, but let me read some more of your comments. Okay, let's see. Timothy, amazing experiences are hard to describe. Listening to Joshua gives food for thought. I appreciate that, brother. I really do. And I always love hearing from you, Timothy. I really do. Crap happens no matter what age. Just wait for some reason. Contest gets done. Einstein, definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Yes, exactly. Kelly Clarkson, wash, rinse, repeat. Oh man, Mary Shelley would have enjoyed today's science. Yeah, Mary Shelley. I mean that whole it really is a story about the creation of life and how scientific ethics and things like this and really these, especially these older horror books and older literature, they all get in so deep and have such much deeper meaning than what we have now, really. The raccoons and hawk and owls, oh my. Yeah, I have all kinds of stuff around here, but it's funny. We used to have we had to cut down some of the trees in my backyard and fence it in. And I used to go out or look out my window every day and just see this raccoon. He would get up right at this time, right at dusk. And I'd see him stretching out, and he'd be like, I'm getting ready to go and raise some hell tonight, Furry vengeance, that's right. Nathaniel, so what are your plans for the rest of the day after streaming? Well, like I said, my kids and wife are at Moana right now, so Moana 2, I guess. So whenever they get home, I'm gonna probably just relax because I usually only get a couple of hours to get up and move around like this before my back just starts screaming at me, and I have to listen to that too for sure, because if I push it too far, I'm hurting too bad. But yeah, just responding to comments. I spend a couple hours usually doing that. I spend time with my children. I, obviously watch a show or something with my wife, and we talk for a while. But after that, everybody goes to bed the latest my daughter goes to bed is 11 when it's not a school night. And, if she does go up to bed and not sleeping on the couch, which I don't know what tonight's going to bring, I might be doing a live stream at midnight again, but we'll have to see what happens. I know the old rowdy crowd, the midnight crowd is always really wild for sure. I've got we're getting off of work, or it's the middle of the night in Germany crowd, and I love you all so much. But yeah, we need the blue wrench of power in at night for sure. And speaking of that, Nathaniel, I don't even know why I didn't make you a blue wrench of power there. There you go. There you go. I bestow you the blue wrench of power, my brother. You can learn from Timothy. He's the first, I believe. I didn't even really think about that, and I'm technologically an idiot, so I'm trying to figure out how to. I know there's a couple different apps or programs that I can run where I can actually bring people on and have like a small panel of people. I want to do that so badly, but the only problem is if I start bringing random people on, man, I watch, Jack Talcott. I've watched him a few times because my brother TJ was on there a few times talking, and man, it is just sometimes so bad. It devolves into madness for sure, and it does it quick too. There was one guy, he got on and literally just starts screaming profanities at everyone. And, Jack takes him off. And the next guy comes on. He's talking all calm. And then he starts screaming profanities at everyone. It's like, what is going on here? How messed up are people's lives that they are just waiting to get on a Christian internet show and start screaming at everyone? But that's the way it goes on the internet sometimes for sure. Let's see here. Timothy, the toxic survivors that came to gobble gobble. Yeah. Take care of that sciatic nerve. Sciatic nerve. Yeah. Yeah, that nerve it's my nemesis for sure. But I'm glad he didn't damage it completely, because I can still walk. If he would have damaged it completely, I wouldn't even be using this right leg. So I guess I would just be hobbling along with my stick anyway. I got my walk-in stick always. Trying to hop along, right? It's not the end of the world, even though it seems if we lose all of our limbs, it's still not the end of the world. And that is something that gets people. I've known people who have just lost just their legs, and they just go into such a depression. And I understand it. I understand it's a shock. But truthfully, it could be one of the greatest things to happen to you, because I don't know him personally, but I followed this guy who lost his legs in Afghanistan, I believe it was. And he does more than most people I know. He's there whitewater rafting, climbing mountains, doing all kinds of stuff, with other wounded vets. And I'm like, man, it really makes me feel pathetic when you guys are out here doing this, and I can barely even, walk a mile or two. And I'm like, oh, I did great today. I walked 3 miles is my max probably before I really start paying for it. But I think that's pretty good for somebody who's disabled. But I don't get much time, so I gotta use the time that I can to get out and move around. Okay, brother. We'll keep the popcorn machine ready. Yes, Timothy. If you see me on here at midnight, please hop on. Yeah, deputization happens. That's right, Nathaniel. Not the last. And Nathaniel, you don't have to use it if you want. I just gave it to you. If you see somebody just if they're really, really vulgar and you know they're just an absolute troll, then you know, at least put them in timeout, or if it's really bad, kick them off. But if they're just making fun of me, leave it, because I love seeing that stuff. It's, if they're funny, I mean, but even if they're not funny, just leave it on. They're making a fool of themselves half the time. Not the last. Nathaniel, yeah, I'm at work now and finish at 11:30 tonight. All right, well, hopefully, you know, I don't know whether, I know my daughter wants to sleep on the couch, but she has been getting over this cold that my whole family caught, but somehow I got lucky and, you know, knock on wood, I guess, right? But I got the least of it. So, you know, she's got to sleep sitting upright more in her bed because that helps her not cough as much and stuff. So probably we'll sleep in bed at least one more night. Oh, you're absolutely welcome, Nathaniel. Timothy doesn't want to turn into another Jerry Springer. Yeah, it is worse than Jerry Springer because it's the internet Jerry Springer, where there was one guy who showed up, and you know how if they're not on there talking like with the video, they just have their profile picture, and their profile picture was like a scrotum that was like it like had little googly eyes on it. I mean, it was actually funny, but it was definitely not something you want on a Christian channel for sure. It was just rough. Candyland, the Thanksgiving edition. Yeah. Let's see. Amazing YouTube channel. Transmissions of paraplegics. Yes. I'm gonna check that out. I love hearing those stories of just how these, you know, these people who go through so much, they just accomplish more. And that is what I'm talking about when I'm saying every situation, just follow God. Don't let, you know, the chaos and the suffering bury you. Don't let the darkness drown out all the light that's in life, because there is so much. I think that's, I don't know which planet that is. One of the planets out shining bright. Let's see if I can turn this around. It's more beautiful out here than any. It's just an absolutely beautiful dusk sky. I know it's not going to be too much longer before. Let's see if we can get the star up there. No, you can't even see the star on the camera, I think. Right in the middle there somewhere. Oh, there it is. Right. Yep, it's gone. All right. Well, yeah, I'll stay on for a couple more minutes while the light, maybe it's better if you can't see my face, right? I'm not too pretty to look at. So what are you guys up to? You guys have any plans for Thanksgiving or anything? Let's see. Timothy, got to go. Laundry. Absolutely, Timothy. Hopefully I'll see you tonight if I get on there. I love you, brother. If I don't talk to you before then, have a happy Thanksgiving. And we'll see you soon. Nathaniel, yeah, brother. North Carolina looks so nice to me. If you're streaming, I'll be there tonight. That sounds wonderful. Yeah, I always plan on doing it. If it just all depends on my daughter, and you know, if she's awake, then I just sometimes the topics we get into are not appropriate for kids. So, you know, I don't want her awake and have to make it all PG, because I know a lot of the problems we have are definitely at least rated R problems. And really a lot of the Bible is rated R. You know, you look at the book of Genesis, man, you have the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, you have the story of Hosea, you have so many stories that are just, they're dark, but that's the point. They're showing the human suffering. They're showing the fall of man in real time. And since you can't see my face at all, instead of the dark shadow, I'll just keep it on that. It looks like, oh, let's see, just staying home alone. I'm a lone wolf, so usually to myself. Well, I hope that, you know, I don't know if you're still living, you have your mother there still or whatever, but I hope you guys enjoy the Thanksgiving dinner for sure, because that's, you know, it's time, you know, Thanksgiving to me, it's like, you know, good food, but I don't really go out of my way to go and travel with family or anything. But it is a time when we should always give thanks to God. And I really do think that we have to remember the blessings we have in life, because if we just focus on all of the things going wrong and how we just can't seem to fit in anywhere, we can't seem to find our way in life, then that is the mindset that's going to keep us in that place. It's going to enslave us, where, the doors in hell are locked from the inside, if there are doors at all. I've always said the devil is not in the business of guarding prisons. He's not into building prisons either. He is just in the recruiting, and he will manipulate you. He will manipulate all of us and trick us to go and start building our own prison cell brick by brick. And once we built so high that we can't reach anymore, we'll start getting a shovel and digging down deeper and deeper. And he doesn't have to have a guard at all. You can freely walk out of there whenever you choose, but you can also freely walk away from God. It is a game of choices. It is a game of deciding, are we going to follow the righteous path, which is sometimes the hardest path there is to follow? Not sometimes, it's almost always the hardest path to follow. Or are we going to go down the easy road, where all the comforts and all the pleasures and all the things that just give us escape from this life, they just make us feel like small g gods, they make us feel like royalty. And then all of a sudden we wake up and we find ourselves in that prison cell. Let's see. Nathaniel, I want to get into reading the Bible more, but I can't come to understanding the writing. I moved out 3 months ago. Sorry, I thought I told you. No, it's fine, brother. Yeah, I think that's probably when you were kind of like, I wasn't hearing from you much. But as far as the Bible, so I know that people are like, start with this, go get this kind of Bible, the study Bible and everything. Focus first and foremost on that personal relationship, on talking to God. And as I said, always ask him to help you understand. And if you can't seem to grasp it at first, there's no, I will try to, I'll find one of your old comments or something. I don't know if we've sent emails before or not, but I can give you my email too. But there are, I believe, all the Gospels made into like a movie where they're acting them out and there's a narrator telling the whole thing. I think those are great to watch, because they are, at least you're starting to understand. And it goes so much deeper, because you start reading into a verse. You can stay on one verse the rest of your life and still get something new out of it. I'm telling you, you can stay on Genesis 3 or Genesis 1 for that matter, and still get something new out of it. Because God, I'm telling you, Christ expands your mind. He opens your eyes. And I'm not the only one who wasn't able to read the Bible either before I was saved. I talked to several people. One of the craziest ones was some lady who was dyslexic. And she said she couldn't read, she could never read any, especially old style writing like that. And as soon as she found God, it was like her dyslexia went away. And she was able to just get that wisdom, like I'm telling you, and just dig deep into it and just find that peace and that love within the pages. And of course, there's hard chapters and there's hard verses, but stick to the New Testament first. And then when you go to the Old Testament, you start seeing the evidence of Christ working, because it is Christ working in every single situation. And he always comes to people the way they need him. So God will always show up to you how you need him to be. So for Moses, he was the burning bush. For most of us, he is that suffering servant king in Jesus Christ, suffering servant God, excuse me. So just let the personal relationship build, and then slowly take it. Maybe read little parts of starting with I would start with maybe Matthew, because that starts with the birth of Jesus. I believe Luke or Mark does too, but you've got to find the way that works for you, because God speaks to you through those words no matter what. Even if you can't understand it now, he will speak to you when you're ready. I promise you this. Okay, I'm going to read a couple more here. I know it's getting dark out here. Let's see. Spudinator. Yeshua is king. Amen. And yes, abandoned guards, Hell's Gates. The mark is coming soon. I'm worried. Tell people not to take any more shots. Do not be worried. Do not be worried, no matter how bad life seems to get, because I promise you, it is exactly the way it is supposed to go. And that's what I was saying earlier. Every situation we are in, it is exactly how it's supposed to be. The first thing is like oh no, what did I do here? I hope I didn't mess anything up. Can you guys still hear me? There we go. Okay. I thought I pressed the little speaker button. I don't even know what that does on here. The Gospel of John was one I watched not too long ago, and it was amazing. And then there's a show called AD The Bible Continues. It's like a mini series. I think it's on like Amazon Prime or something, if you have that. And that is amazing. What they did with the Apostle Paul in that, how they just made him so charismatic and just got his character down completely right. I mean, it doesn't have the complete work of Acts and the epistles and everything, but it is just beautiful. Just a wonderful mini-series, I think. God is about to heal my HIV. People laugh, but he can do anything. He can do anything, brother. I promise you that. He can do anything. He can do anything. And you know what? Sometimes we think he's going to heal us of certain things. I would have thought, oh, well, people ask me, why didn't he heal your back pain if he's so great? He is supposed to heal you of everything. And I was like, you don't understand. My back pain, I do not suffer from it anymore. And so I go through these things because I have to keep from becoming conceited. I have to stay humble. I have to remember why he brought me to this place. Why, I have to remember my life, as miserable as it was and as broken as it was. And don't ever, if you find God, if you find that personal relationship, don't ever let anyone take away your brokenness. That memory of your brokenness is powerful. That memory of your depression is powerful. And it will keep you on the righteous path. It will. I promise you this. I promise you. Prophet of Truth back. Hey, hello on Break a Few. Nice view. It's no light out here, so I figured might as well show the last little bit of the dusk here, and it is beautiful out there. It truly is. Spudinator, it's his will. I promise you, Spudinator, I did not have a clue that, as I said earlier, I didn't think that God would actually intervene in my life. But when he did, he made it clear that it wasn't the things I wanted, it wasn't the things I was asking for, I was expecting. It was what I needed to happen. It's always what we need, not what we want. The old Rolling Stone song, you can't always get what you want, but you try sometimes, you just might find you get what you need. It is true. It is, God will give you everything you need to be on the righteous path, to find true joy, true peace, true love in life. And when we feel like he's abandoned us, it's because we have turned away from him. And when we turn back to him, I promise you, he is waiting there with open arms, and he is so happy. Read the story of the prodigal son. I think it might be Luke 15, chapter 15. And it's about this guy these two brothers, And the older brother asked the dad for their inheritance early because he was already wealthy and he wasn't no longer working. So they wanted to start their own lives. And he said, okay. And he gave them both their inheritance, and they were both wealthy now. The older brother lived righteously, had a great, righteous life, was a farmer, was successful farm. The younger brother went out and traveled all around, blowing his money on alcohol and prostitutes and gambling, and he lost it all very quickly. And so he tried to find a job, and the first job he found was, or all the jobs he found were basically like slave labor, and they weren't paying him a good living wage. They weren't treating him good. And so he said, I remember my father used to treat everyone with respect, even his servants, and they would give him a great wage. And so he went back, hat in hand, humble as can be. And as he was walking up the road, his father saw him, said, go get your older brother. We're having the greatest feast I've ever thrown tonight. Your younger brother is coming back. And of course, the older brother was mad. He's like, I've lived this righteous life. I've done everything right. And here you are throwing the biggest feast for him. Why would you do this? And he said, you don't understand. You are always here and you love me and I love you. And I'm so glad you are with me like this. But he went astray and he was lost. And now he found his way back to me. And that is beautiful. So we have to celebrate that. Spudnator, I'm 29, addicted to Suboxone and Kratom. Just got off meth and it almost killed my heart. Oh, brother, I'm so sorry. Jesus is slowly satisfying me. I know the Kratom, I'm on Kratom right now. I have to take Kratom for my pain. I use sometimes medical cannabis. I use whatever I can to try to stay off the opiates, unless I'm just out of a surgery or something. But those things will, things like meth and opiates will just destroy you for sure. But that is the brokenness you need. That makes you ripe for redemption right there, Spudnator. Our brokenness is fertile ground for salvation. It truly is. That's right, Prophet of Truth. You're on the right road. You're on the right road. GGGGG at Spudnator. What was your favorite meth? I used to shard it up with that Crystal Wizard meth coming out of Asheville. Oh man, like I never heard of shard. Oh, maybe shoot it up. Is that what you're saying? But I don't know. I actually do think I've done it once when I was younger. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure I did it once. I did it once and I was like, this is not for me, thankfully, but I definitely got hooked. My thing was, I did love things like ecstasy and things like that, just because of the way it makes you feel, just almost perfect, too perfect. And then you just feel like complete trash for 2 weeks after. But for me, it was psychedelics that caught me. And I wanted to find truth. And I justified it by saying, I'm not doing drugs because I'm a drug addict and because I like the feeling. I'm doing it because I want to find truth. And I was lying to myself. I did find things that I wouldn't have found otherwise, but it led me straight to hell quickly. And I urge people to be cautious when you start hearing, people like Joe Rogan push it a lot. And I understand there are people who say they never believed in God until they took psychedelics, but it is dangerous. You don't know if you're going to take it and your mind will be completely screwed up for the rest of your life. I'm telling you, I did it so much because I wanted to get closer to God. That was my reasoning. And I had eventually a mental breakdown after doing so much. I was taking like 10 strips of acid and things like that. It was crazy. Let's see here. Sanctifying. Yes, Kratom is good, but mixing both gets me high as hell. Oh man, yeah. Try to, I know Suboxone, some people need that to stay off of opiates and stuff, but, or other drugs, I guess, too. I'm not sure if it works for other things too, but yeah, you have to put your faith completely into God and just, I don't know if you did that stuff because you're in pain, because that's why I do my kratom, because it works so much better than most, but it doesn't get me high. I don't know if I'm maybe just doing a lower dose or something. But you have to put all of your faith in God and surrender to Him completely. And I'm telling you, it might not be that you're going to get off of all the stuff, Again, I'm still taking medical cannabis at times. I don't take much of it. I used to do it all day, every day. And now I do it once in the evening. I'll probably go home and take like a tiny little nibble of a gummy that I got in Virginia where it's legal. And I'm telling you, it is all about how you use things. If your body gets addicted to things, if your mind gets addicted to things, you need to know the enemy. It is a spiritual war, and that goes for addiction especially. So just like the Art of War says, know your enemy. It just like, Christ teaches, you have to put all your faith and trust in Him. And sometimes He will lead you to places that are unexpected, for sure. But putting that faith in Him will keep you on the righteous path, and you will not fall into this addiction again. You might go astray once or twice in your life, but you will hopefully remember how loving and how peaceful and how purposeful you felt, and just return to Him. And I'm depressed. Keeps me. Oh, let's see. I missed one here. I'll read a couple more here. I used to do Jenkem back in high school in the 90s. That was wild. Had a friend go into seizures from Jenk fumes. I've heard of that before, but I don't remember what it is. I don't remember what that was, but I've heard that before, and I don't. Wasn't that like the prank thing or something? Is that you just trolling, brother? Spudnator keeps me away from meth. SUO. Oh, Suboxone does. Oh, okay, yeah. Then, you have to. If just one or the other will do it, but the Suboxone I know is hardcore, but it is still much better than being on meth, brother. It's much better. So you have to, if you're the type of person who can go cold turkey, do it, but wean yourself off maybe of one or the other, and then don't do everything all at once. Don't put yourself in such a miserable position where you're just going to give up because it's so much all hitting you like a ton of bricks. And I'm depressed. I tried to get off the subs, but withdrawals lasted months and I couldn't take the withdrawals. Yeah, I've heard the same with methadone too, that people trying to get off of that just, they put me on that it was just only like literally a few days, because my doctor, I had to go to a separate doctor, and they didn't want me there because they were all mad because I was supposed to be going to the other doctor. So when I went back to my regular, he got mad about it. He said that his best man in his wedding, his wife died from methadone because she just forgot that she had taken the last dose and took an extra one and overdosed. So it stays in your system for so long, which is why they give it to you for staying off of opiates and other drugs, I guess, too. And I'm going to pray for you, brother, for sure. I'm praying for you. Yeah, Chad, it's good to see you too, brother. God bless you too, Chad. It's great to see you on here. I have no idea what Jenkem is. I thought Jenkem, wasn't that like the poop thing or something? People were like trying to get people to it's something not real. I'm pretty positive. I was thinking for a while it might have been like that salvia stuff or something, but no, it's not. I'm pretty sure it's a prank. Yeah, it's dark now for sure, Timothy. It's dark. I've got that North Star on there. It's some planet. I'm not sure if it's Mercury or Saturn or what, but it's shining bright for sure. Hopefully you guys can see that. But yeah, let's see here. Good thing either Suboxone, it has a blocker and it is very hard to OD. That is good too, for sure. For sure. Timothy Painful was some actor that played Joker from Australia, did that too. Heath Ledger. Yeah. Heath Ledger, man, what a great talent that was just died way too early. You know, just like we were talking about earlier in the comments, Timothy, Robin Williams, and, you know, he wasn't young, but, you know, all these, John Belushi, all these great comedians especially, but actors too, they just have this deep pain. And you think, oh, that's the life. Everybody loves you. Everybody's, you know, you're so famous, you're so wealthy. And look at what it does to people. Look at how it destroys people's lives. Spudnator, sorry for... No, not at all, Spudnator. Not at all. I wanted to, you know, I was going to get off here soon, but I just wanted to, you know, talk to you for sure. Spudnator, keep reaching out for sure. If you have any problems, if you want to chat privately in email or something or whatever, just reach out through my comments. And any of you who have my email, if you do, or find it on my homepage, I think it's on there, but it's hard to find for some reason. Let me know in a comment or something if you send one, because I'm telling you, I just opened my junk folder in my email, and it was full of messages, and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Why are they sending things like Microsoft Outlook stuff and into my main folder, but putting all the actual emails in my junk folder? But I guess they just don't want me seeing them for sure. Let's see. Gigi. Yeah, Gigi's just trolling for sure. I mean, Jenkem is an old joke though, GGG. That's an old one, man. You must be like my age or older. You remember that stuff. Because that was like the big thing in like the 90s, I think, wasn't it? Early 2000s, Jenkem. Spudnator, you earned a sub, my friend. Oh, God bless you, brother. And please reach out. Please, any of you who are depressed, any of you who need any kind of guidance, I'm not saying I'm the one who can do it for you, but I will help you, at least try to find someone who can help you. Because I'm obviously just a man, and as I've said through the whole thing, do not put your faith in man. But you definitely have to lean on people. And first you have to put your faith in God. And once you put your faith in God, then you start, it's not the trust like we know it. I've always said, both trust and love, I had no clue what they were. Because it was always my expectations and my desires that were controlling my definition of it. But once I found God, I knew love that was beyond any human emotion, beyond anything of this world, that was transformational. And I knew how to trust people, and the trust I had in people was unconditional too, because it didn't matter if they let me down, because there was no letting me down. If they betrayed me, if they were using me, then okay, they used me. Then that's what happened. I know that for next time. I'm not going to let it happen again, but I mean, I'm not going to abandon people and just put my expectations on what I think people should do and have that as a stipulation for my trust. It is unconditional, just like Christ's love. Let's see here. I'm Spudnator, I'm searching for salvation from Yeshua. Hamashiach. I don't know that word, but is that another Hebrew word there for Christ or something? I've never heard that one. But that is beautiful, beautiful. Seriously, do not look to other Christians. Do not look to any man to tell you how to have your relationship with God. Only look to God. And again, I will go over before I leave here. try to find a place that is solitary. I recommend that out in nature somewhere, but if you can't get out in nature, go into a room and close the door behind you. Don't even have your pets. Turn your phone off and just pray to him. Tell him all of your problems. He's your comforter, your counselor, and your companion. And then keep your eyes open for how he answers you. Because how he answers you and how you start getting those answers is how he's going to probably usually talk to you. Now, he can switch it up for sure, but it is amazing. It is amazing. Okay, that might be my dog out there. I got to make sure because my gate is wide open. All right, nobody knows how deep an iceberg is. 85% of the surface. That's true. Yeah, Antarctica is so miles deep of ice, isn't it? Not surprised. Black Friday junk mail. Timothy Baby Steps. This is one of them. The idea of pulling that footwear out of the quagmire, but I like the squelchy side effects. Yeah, that's true. Giggity. The quagmire. Somebody, JL says giggity. Timothy, can't spell. My stuttering is worse. Trust me, brother. I know all about that. I used to. It wasn't so much stutter, but I would trip over my words. So it was just a nervous speech, I guess. Yes, for Jesus. Amen, Spudnator. Amen. Yeah, reach out for sure. Let's see. Yeshua HaMashiach is Jesus' original Hebrew name. Oh, okay. I knew about Yeshua. I didn't know. Let's see. HaMashiach. Okay, I didn't know that for real. That's good to know. All right. You guys can't see a thing, neither can I, but I'm going to. Let's see if this light will even. No, it doesn't work. All right, so I'm going to get off of here. I hope to be on again at about midnight, but if not, then I will be on here as soon as I can. And if not, like I said, reaching out through any of the comments, and I will give you my email if that's what you want, if it's something private you want to talk about. Wait, let me see if we can hear the owls. He was yelling at me, but oh, now he's not going to do it since I got all quiet. There he is. As soon as I started talking again, you see. That sounds like I'm not sure what kind of owl that is. I know the barred owl sound because my dogs go nuts. He's like the woo. He might be a great horned owl actually, but I love you all so much. Hopefully I catch you all tonight. If not, you all have an amazing Thanksgiving, and I will be posting videos and see you in the comments. If not, then I love you all so much. God bless.